Shit about that. Oh, and we're live. Here we go. Welcome to my living room, to our podcast. This is episode numero uno. I'm Daytona Mike. This is...
I am Dan.
Also known as AKA Waldo. We are coming to you because Dan had this idea for how many years now?
Probably about 5 years, I'd say.
5?
Yeah, I'd say 5.
I don't think I was doing podcasts back then.
Nobody was, but
Very few people. It wasn't popular back then. But this is obviously our football podcast. We're gonna and leave it to me to make one at the end of the season. That's when I started the NASCAR one, right at the end. So I always jump in too little, too late. So we're gonna get all the kinks worked out for this next season for
sure.
2023. We'll bring you a much better product. As you can see, we are Dolphins fans.
Big time. All my life.
I will pause for either likes or hates here, with a thumbs up or thumbs down. However you feel. We just came out of the game. We just got out of the game. We did not go to the game. We're in Florida, but
we went to a watch party.
Went to a watch party. Thank you. The way I try to say it, see, that's what he's here for, to put things into simple terms that people enjoy.
And just to say about the watch party, it's probably the best experience I ever had at home.
What made it the best, though?
Oh, it's just the energy there. Everybody is just so into the game. I love it.
They were really into it. They were into every single play, every turnover.
Didn't matter what it was. Whether it was a flag, whether it was no flag, whether it was you saw somebody pushing somebody. They were really into it, man.
The only thing that was missing, the difference between a home game and a watch party, was like whoever the guy is up in the booth that does the music to make some noise. That's all we needed was.
But we did also have another Miami's first down.
I think you got that started though.
It was actually Omar, the guy.
Omar, okay,
Twitter, yeah.
Okay.
He actually got it started, and I was like, he didn't do it this time. I'll do it.
I got a couple chants going. I got the Let's Go Dolphins.
That kept going out throughout the game.
We were the loudest people in Brew's room today.
Probably could hear us from a whole other block over.
So this was your first watch party for Dolphins away game, and mine was the preseason game. It's just what I was telling him is not only was it preseason, but the fans there, they didn't care there was preseason. They treated it like it was a home game, like it was the first opening day of the season, and that's what really made me want to go and do this again. Hosted by Ian Berger. Thank you again, Ian. Can't thank you enough. So we're gonna come and we're gonna talk football. Dan is the football guy. I am the NASCAR guy. I'm NASCAR Mike.
So you can call me Dan the football guy.
Dan the football guy. We're still looking for a name for this podcast. We haven't come up with it yet.
Yep.
That will come in time. Probably someone will give us a nickname and we'll be like, hey, that's catchy. So let's keep that. As we record this, it is 6:42 p.m. On Sunday. And right now we are in the middle of wildcard weekend. So this is the wildcard episode. And we got wild card games going on right now as I look behind me. You guys can't see because we'll get taken off YouTube. But the Giants and the Vikings are 24-21 in the third quarter. This is a real close game. So we want to get through this podcast because I want to watch the fourth quarter. Go Blue. Go Giants.
I want to watch the late night game.
There's one after. Oh, yeah, the Bengals.
Bengals and Ravens.
Bengals and Ravens. You said that was going to be a blowout, though.
I thought it was going to be a good game.
Is it?
Yeah.
You said
I expect that to be a good game.
You said I mentioned if we were playing the Ravens, we would blow them out.
No, we wouldn't blow them out at all.
No, they've got a team.
Yeah, because the first time the game that we played in the regular season, we came back and beat them in the fourth quarter.
That's right.
I believe it was
That was my birthday.
it was 34 something.
It was September.
34-28.
We played Baltimore. Yep. We had a miracle comeback that game.
Oh, it was fantastic.
You know, you say you're disappointed with this season.
I am.
Why are you disappointed? Where's the disappointment? No, you say a lot that just because we didn't win. I'm looking at this, man, in terms of not just winning and losing or what our record is. At the end of the day, they said it's 9-9. I'm looking at the coach. I'm looking at the overall morale of the team. The fact that we used to come out at halftime getting whooped by Tom Brady or whoever the Jets coach was for the longest time. What was his name?
I don't even remember his name.
Big fat guy.
Yep.
And,
I know you're talking about.
Right, Rex Ryan. Yeah. Rex, I'm glad you're retired. That's all I'm going to say. It's a nice thing I could say. But we used to come out, man, at halftime, and we were just distraught. Like we had already given up. You could tell that we had given up. And we looked like we were out there with our thumbs just throwing, hoping something stuck. You know, we were faking it till we made it, and we never made it. We just pushed through. We never gave up. And even in the preseason, we were down, and we didn't give up, and we used whatever talent we had out there.
Right. We
threw it around, and same thing all season, man. We had guys step up after injuries that were making big plays. We talked about 26 with the running back. We're going to talk about that. We're going to watch the highlights here. We're going to talk about it. But what did you feel like was the most disappointing thing besides our record of 9-9?
So while I do agree with you on a lot of things that you just said, we have a good coach now. The morale of the team is fantastic. I agree. Where I come with disappointment is we're coming in with high expectations. Me as a fan, I'm coming in with high expectations because we got a new coach. I already knew about him from San Francisco. We got Tyreek Hill. We got a good guy in Jalen Waddle that we drafted last year. We're coming in with a fan, and not to mind you, we got a good defensive guy, Jalen Phillips, that we drafted last year. Fantastic team coming up. I'm feeling pretty high on the team, at least making it to the playoffs, which we did. But where I'm disappointed is the last 5 games.
Yeah.
The last 5 games.
That's tough to swallow.
Coming in after 8-3, top of the division. Come on, top of the division. 8-3.
It felt good for a minute there.
It was good feeling, and then just to lose it in the next 5 games, I don't know. That was just disappointing because we could have won our division. We could have had that first round bye. That would have been fantastic. But overall, I will say it is a good season. We did what we could with what we had.
Absolutely.
We have so many injuries this season, so it's just one of those seasons where you get the injury bug. So
we did make a lot of mistakes and penalties and things like that. But I would say my expectations going into every season are always low. I keep them low and reasonable because you never know what we got until about 5 games in, and usually that first one is a big test to see what we got.
And that first one was a good one against the Patriots.
Patriots, yeah. And
then the Ravens, the next game was a fantastic game.
Even better. We hit 3 in a row. We were walking tall, lose to so you could stack a fantasy team, right? It doesn't mean that they're going to go out there. This is so much that you can't control. You just try to manage the chaos and kind of just aim it towards the end zone as best you can. But no disappointment for me. The games we did lose, they were really close games.
They were, but games that I believe that we should have won. So
I'm gonna say that I love how people were betting on us. Like I was watching some pre-games and everyone was like, Miami's gonna win today. Miami's gonna win. I can't remember people ever saying I picked Miami to win today
right.
against anyone, even maybe the Detroit Lions or something. But no, and for me, it's been a great year. It gives me hope and slightly higher expectations going into the next season. But if we're going to talk about the game today, real quick, I think if you want to go highlight by highlight, we got the highlight reel here going. It's going to be hard to watch a second time, but what did you kind of see today from the team, or what stood out to you?
Oh man, just a lot of shooting ourselves in the foot. Majority of the game, it's like, with the false start penalties, the clock management, it all could have been better. Maybe better coaching for Mike McDaniel towards this rookie. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
How much could you really do
right.
in a week? So,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of putting Skylar Thompson on the spot, to be honest, because
for sure
he's a rookie. We're in a big playoff game, with a lot on the line. So I do give him props for doing the best he could,
even showing up, going out on that field.
Anybody would have just shaken up
in an away game, no doubt.
On the road, yeah.
You've got a whole stadium full of thousands of people who hate your guts, rooting against you,
and he's out there putting up 31 points. So
helping,
yeah, and yeah. I give him props, but there are a lot of things that we definitely could have done better offensively and defensively. What about you for what you saw?
What I saw from we're trying to watch the highlights here to just kind of get it a little more fresh here. Skylar on the move, not enough. I heard more from what I heard than what I saw was the fans who are with us saying, "Why are you stuck in the pocket? Move outside, run it. Why don't you just run it?" Or also we had Tyreek Hill running, what do you call them, options, or he's running routes yeah. that he's wide open multiple times. We also had issues with Waddle. What we found out listening to the fifth quarter on the radio was he's had some kind of
a shoulder injury.
Had some kind of injury there. And he said he really had some kind of harness that he was struggling. Skylar, like this one, he aired it out. I mean,
that was the play.
He took some bombs, but more so what we did. Thank God our kicker was flawless today, because we wouldn't have even been in contention if our kicker. And at one point, we were down by we only had 6 points on the board, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, here we go. If we can't score a touchdown, might as well stick with what we're good at. Play to our strengths. Kick as many field goals as we can if that's what we got to do. And it ended up being so much better than that. And I'm just really thankful for the experience today. Going into this, we were all kind of nervous, and there was anybody hardly there when we showed up. We showed up, we're people who show up on time. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, this is about what I'd expect it to be. But people started to crowd in closer to kickoff,
and it was packed,
which was delayed. Eventually, we were standing room only, and it was very, very crowded in there and loud every time we got a first down, every time we got a completion.
Touchdown.
I mean, Tyreek was flawless today. And not to talk, we got to be impartial on this
Right.
show. We can talk about the Dolphins till we're blue in the face, but we're gonna challenge ourselves, right, to talk about other teams
Oh, I can.
and other. I know you could talk about people all
I can
day.
talk about football all day. So
He's the Steve Rogers of football. He can do it all day. It's good fun for me. I love the experience of it, and we were all standing there, and we all just kind of looked at each other like, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna suck.
Yep.
And this is gonna hurt. But we ordered some wings, and we're gonna be here for it. The Dolphins showed up, so we showed out. We came out as best as we could, and I feel like setting our goal to win that game would be kind of an unrealistic expectation. Was maybe setting the bar too high for the team. I don't know what the coach just said in an interview that we were going to be aggressive, and we went for it on fourth downs. We played like we weren't playing it safe at all. So, just exceeded my expectations, and just to give slight credit to Buffalo, they've earned my respect a lot lately, which I used to hold them up. I was starting to feel like they were becoming the next New England Patriots. The Josh Allen airing the ball out like this is just, I don't even know. I can't even tell how many yards that is. It's easily 50 yards, right?
I'd say at least 40.
At least 40. It just looked, the thing's gone, and then it comes back in the screen like all the way down. And they had some catches that they couldn't hold on to that hit the ground.
Kind of helped us throughout the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they had at least 3 catches where the ball hit the ground, and they kind of shot themselves in the foot too there.
Exactly.
For a little bit. That's what it looked like. Oh, Dolphins may have a chance here to come back, and which they did make a comeback. So I came into this game thinking, hey, this game is going to be over right from the start. So for them to come in, for them to play the game the way they did, all aggressive and amped up and hyped to play this game, excites me for next season. So I'm very excited.
I'm very excited for next season.
The way that they just chose to stay in there and continue to fight shows me that they're ready for a playoff win, which we haven't had until at least over 20 years. So
sounded like it, yeah. But one thing I've got to talk about, and this is probably going to be the last thing I talk about with this game, because, you could really break it down, but the most thing I was proud of was the 2-minute drill right here at the end, which is up on here. I'm telling the first half. Yep. I'm telling people, this is the best 2 minutes of Dolphins football I've ever experienced. Especially like we talked about the guy trying to catch it, bring it down on a 3rd and 8, drops it, hits the ground. We get the ball back on a punt return, and I had heard that we were going to put Tyreek Hill back there, but we put someone number 11,
Cedric Wilson, ex-Cowboy.
So us and our new Dolphins crew, shout out to Rich and Jay.
Oh yeah.
Our Dolphins crew said
those guys
said, "Oh, we need how many more field goals do we need?" And I said, "Well, we need special teams too." And they said, "We haven't had anything really going for us on special teams this year." And I said, "Why?" I said, "Why not today?" I said, "Today's the day." McDaniels won his first challenge last week of the season to get us here in the playoffs.
Almost got a punt return for a touchdown there, man.
That's right. So everyone was freaking out, and I was going, "I told you so." I told you the punt return, it can happen, man. And we come up 17-9. They get the ball here. It's less than a minute, and
we get an interception.
Just knocked it right out. I mean, guy tries to catch it, bounces off, pushed it out.
Javon Holland for the interception.
Snagged the interception. Now only 46 seconds left. Down on the 20. Skylar Thompson, big throw, Tyreek Hill, right?
Yep.
I mean, it kept it out of bounds.
And this play right here, Skylar Thompson straight to Mike Gesicki for a touchdown. Like, come on.
I mean,
we've never seen that coming.
We were down 17-6. And in
17-3.
17-3
in the first quarter.
No, I'm saying before this 2-minute run, we were down 17-6, looking like we're a whole load of nothing. Get the touchdown, 2-point conversion.
Tyreek Hill.
We tied at 17 before halftime. I mean, the momentum of this game kept switching back and forth. And let's mention that before the game started, you were saying, I wish we didn't have to play Buffalo. What were your thoughts on that? In a playoff game. If we play anyone, what were your thoughts on that?
I was saying I wish we didn't play Buffalo just for the first round because I'd like to get that first round win, just a playoff win.
Who do you think we could have played to get that, though?
Easily the Jaguars. Easily.
Really?
Yeah, Jaguars, maybe the Chargers, even the Ravens. I'm going to say the Ravens for sure.
Chargers almost won that game last night.
I could see us beating those three teams in the first round.
Even with Skylar Thompson?
With Skylar Thompson.
Wow. Okay. So
definitely the Jags. That definitely could have beat the Jags.
So I countered that, and I stated that it's almost a good thing that we're playing our division rivals because we've already played them twice this year. That most recent game
was a close game.
And I mentioned earlier the newfound respect I found, not only for Damar Hamlin and that whole situation, the love for the team, the teammates, everyone involved in that. So much love for them.
Not to mention, I love how the whole NFL world just came together for Damar Hamlin.
Absolutely. Just stop what they're
doing.
All
my prayers go to him. And
so glad he's doing well.
Having a great recovery right now.
Him and his family. But just that game we played in Buffalo, both teams, I mean, that was one of the greatest football games I've ever witnessed. And I'm amazed and immensely proud of our team that they put up this big of a fight 3 times this year against a team that was projected to go to the Super Bowl before the season even started. I mean, to me that's huge. So proud of us, and I absolutely thought that we were going to go toe-to-toe with them. It was absolutely heavyweight fight for the ages.
For sure.
Before we move on to other games, I think segueing into Jaguars would be good since we just mentioned them. Yep. We're up to the third quarter here. Is there any final thoughts on this game? Because folks, we're putting Dolphins to rest until August. Hopefully early August this year because they got a late start last year. But I'm hanging up my Merino. He goes back in the closet until August. So final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I'm not going to say they've met my expectations, but I think they did. For this game against the Buffalo Bills, first time in the playoffs in 6 years, they did fantastic. Would have a win been great? Absolutely, would have made my day. But missed opportunities here and there. Not much you can do now. Game's over. But
the timing of the play clock.
Oh,
just
not only that,
just painful.
Not just the play clock, just little mental errors like false starts, dropped balls, so many drop passes today, but I'm pretty sure Waddle and Tyreek would love those big plays back. So, I mean, I think we did great overall. A win would have been great, but can't always get what you want.
Let's play out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We know Kansas City's up there. Someone's going to have to face Kansas City.
Yep.
Had we beat Buffalo.
It's going to be the Jaguars or the Bengals playing Kansas City.
But had we beat Buffalo,
right?
Who do you think we would have played or gone up against?
Well, the way that the playoffs is set up, we would have played against either the Jaguars or the Bengals. So.
And you already said you think we would have beat the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So there you have it, folks. That's the end of the 22 Dolphins season.
22-23.
We have a couple more wild card games to review. We're going to take a look at it here real quick. Dan, any thoughts about other teams in wild card weekend? I know we're going to switch to Jacksonville here in a minute, but I'm just going to bring this up here. NFL looking at we had we had Seattle and San Francisco.
And then Jaguars, Chargers so far. So
That's right.
Of those two games, the best game to have watched was obviously Jaguars versus the Chargers.
Clearly, I turned on Seattle and San Fran yesterday. What was it?
It was still like
It's like 17-2 in the
41.
first
I'm
half.
like just 17-41. I'm like, dude, no.
That was
I'm not watching
high.
that game.
The Niners clearly are headed pretty. They're headed towards
They're looking
Philadelphia.
solid.
They're headed towards Philadelphia for sure.
They're going to give Philadelphia a fight for sure.
So talking to Jacksonville and the Chargers, Dan, let me ask you, because you're a guy who give a shout out to who you watch for your highlights around the NFL, because you keep current on like every team. You're the best.
I just watch SVP on Sports Center.
Okay.
Scott Van Pelt.
All right.
And what's his name? Ryan Clark. Shout out to Ryan Clark, ex-NFL cornerback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right. So, how did the Chargers get to the playoffs? First of all, I'm so single-minded. I barely keep up with the Dolphins. I watch them every week, but
I don't know.
Where did the Chargers come from? They don't have Phillip Rivers.
They come out of nowhere. They just come out of nowhere in the middle of the season. I don't know.
Are they going on a winning streak or something?
They would probably went on. I think they went on like a good 4 or 5 game winning streak there. I'm just like, jeez.
Maybe their schedule had something to do with it. But do you know any players on that team that stood out or anything?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is good. Their quarterback is good. First round draft pick, I believe a couple years ago, and 2 years ago. And they got a good veteran wide receiver, Keenan Allen, who came back from injury.
Keenan Allen, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's number 13 for the Chargers.
He's from somewhere else?
Nope.
Okay.
I've been with the Chargers since he came into the league. And, he was there with Phillip Rivers was quarterbacking. Right. So, Keenan Allen is pretty good. They got on their defensive side, I believe it is Joey Bosa, one of the Bosa brothers. Pretty good. A really good defensive end. Good rusher for them. So
you think there'll be a threat next year, or is this a one-off, like a freak?
I believe they can be a contender next year, definitely.
In their division. All right.
They made it this year, which they had. I thought they were going to make it last year, but they didn't. But they came back this year and they hit their stride at the right time in the season. So I could see them being in the back of the playoffs next year, possibly going to the AFC divisional round. So.
Nice.
Or AFC Championship.
So I had minor notes on the 49ers. I noticed their defense was impeccable. They were shutting down Geno and Seattle.
Their defense has always been
They
great.
were on them like white and rice.
Yep.
I mean, I watched 2 minutes of not even a minute of highlight, and I could already see that was a total wash. I noticed someone named Purdy was
Brock
playing.
Purdy. Mr.
Purdy,
Irrelevant.
Is that Jacksonville's quarterback?
Nope, that is the Niners quarterback.
Niners, right. So my question was he their starter or is he one of the backups? I remember we played them a couple months ago and their starting quarterback was not playing.
Brock Purdy is their third string quarterback.
Oh my gosh. There's where we are.
I will say coming into this the season, he was the second string because Trey Lance has their backup Trey Lance has been out injured, so they needed him to come in for Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's put on a show.
They may have found something there.
Listen to this though. He was coming in the draft.
I don't want to listen.
In the draft this year.
Don't point at me and say, "Listen to this." I don't want to listen.
He is Mr. Irrelevant becoming relevant.
Mister, where did he come from?
Yeah, he was the last pick of the NFL draft. They call that the Mr. Irrelevant, and look at him now.
So as I said, Niners seem to be headed towards the Eagles. So I put Niners versus Eagles question mark, meaning
you don't know who's going to win.
What are the chances of that? Or now we're going to talk about predictions here in a minute. I'm going to save that because we're going to look at what's coming. And as I'm looking at the game right now, we're tied 24-all in the fourth quarter. This is shaping up. So we're going to wrap this up for this episode here pretty soon. But just real quick, cover the Jags-Chargers. I asked, did the Jags home field advantage have something to do with the win?
Absolutely.
The playing better. You were saying earlier, almost bet on the house. Always bet on the home team. On the playoffs.
As you can see, all home teams have won so far. I don't know, was the Niners at home?
They would have had to have been.
So I wasn't sure. I didn't keep up on that.
Seattle could not have been good enough to own or in the home field advantage.
No, yeah. So that all the teams that were at home, they won. So I mean,
the picture says Seattle at San Fran.
Yeah. So yep.
And Chargers at Jets
yep.
Because it shows us at Buffalo, yep. New York at Minnesota, Baltimore's at Bengals, yep. Which I'm not a Bengals fan. My pastor is, and his family, and I hate to say it, they've got a decent team. So I would put money for the Bengals to win. And then you got Dallas.
Ravens could also win that game too. Just saying.
They could. I'm not denying it. I'm just not going to bet on it. But
I'm not a betting man.
I think that had something to do with it.
Always
Also,
does.
there's an Ingram who was playing out there, number 17. He was an easy target.
Evan Ingram.
It was, and I know you didn't get a chance to see the highlights, but man, I'm telling you, he was throwing to this guy was catching everything he was throwing, and I mean he couldn't miss.
He's their tight end. He's good for them. So
I would have thought he was a wide receiver the way they were targeting him.
Right.
And it said he was a free agent. You know anything about that?
Yeah, he was a free agent. I don't know where he came from. Probably the Lions, I think.
Wow.
But,
what an acquisition, though.
Yeah,
holy cow.
He is a good tight end for sure. They got a good one in him, and they got what's his name? Number 7. He's pretty good. Zay Jones. That's right, Zay Jones. He's an ex-Bill wide receiver, so they got some good guys over there.
There's another one on the opposite end that caught my eye, number 7, Jared Everett from LA. Is he a good running back? I saw him cutting and
Apparently,
running.
I guess so.
Splitting the middle. He was tearing through Jacksonville.
He seems pretty good, I guess. I haven't really kept up with them, so
it's more fantasy players to keep your eyes on. Yep,
exactly.
There's ones to watch in the coming year. And the Chargers led 27-7 to start the third quarter. I feel like that's ridiculous to even hear that they won that game last night.
Even at the half, right before half, they were down 27-0.
0.
And get this: the Jaguars' odds to win, 99.9% chance of winning that game at half.
What you mean losing that game?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
No, losing.
The Jaguars, yeah.
Had a 99.9% chance of winning that game.
They were down.
Yeah, they were expected to lose. So their odds weren't that high. Coming down from 27-0, they were not expected to win.
No, they were not expected.
Their probability of winning was 99.9%.
Ah, okay. I switched that backwards. So, yeah. So everyone today was taking that win by them last night.
Oh, that was the Chargers' chances of winning. 99.9% chance of winning. Sorry.
That's what I was trying to say.
I got that backwards.
They had a 99%.
My fault, guys. I suck at math.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I know I get things confused sometimes, but hold up. Wait a minute. Don't stop. Get it. This is Jacksonville offense. Could they be a threat? Who do you think they would be going up against potentially? Buffalo.
They're going up against either Kansas City or the Bengals.
Okay.
I mean, they're going up either against Kansas City or the Bills. One of those two teams.
Oh wow! So that's no easy task.
So the winner of the Bengals game or Jags, one of those two will be playing against Kansas City.
See, I'm glad I have him because I have
one of them will be playing against Kansas City.
I don't know how that playoff bracket works. I'm just looking to see.
I just know if the Jaguars play Kansas City, you can lock in Kansas City to the next game, the AFC Championship.
Yeah, because their defense definitely wasn't holding the Chargers back, especially not with a high scoring that big. But
not to discredit the Jaguars, they have had a good season. They came in there
really surprising.
They came in hot in the last, say, 5 games. So
it came out, and I did not even. I was like, what?
I expect them to have a good season next year.
Where did Tennessee go though? For the longest time, Tennessee was holding that 4th place division spot, and
that is the question.
All of a sudden, the Titans are not even a factor.
That is the question. Where did Tennessee go?
Where did they go, man? Jaguars
beat them for the final spot.
Jeez, that is incredible. So, you had 30-20 in the 4th quarter. LA leading. LA missed the field goal. Someone named Kirk made an impressive catch for a touchdown.
Oh yeah, that's Christian Kirk. He's a good receiver for the Jags.
So another ones to watch. See, I take notice in these playoff games, and that's really cool. I'm going to do my ADHD, but I happen to be on the side where my name is. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can't get Dan his own.
It's okay. I don't need
You don't get a name.
I don't need one.
You get Dolphins Dan. That's what you get.
Yep.
No, it's a successful 2-point conversion. Here it is. It says defense shut down the Chargers because
Chargers couldn't do anything second half.
They stalled out. They got one more touchdown somehow. 30. No. It stayed at 30. That's right. And then it was 30-28 at the 2-minute warning. Jags get that last field goal, pop it in. So we kind of talked about it already. You mentioned Jacksonville would go to either Baltimore or
Baltimore or the Jags would play against Kansas City. I don't know how that works. I don't know.
Okay.
But one of those teams will be playing against Kansas City, all depending on who wins the Ravens-Bengals game.
All right. So more predictions. You can predict who's going to win this game here because we still have 8 minutes left, tied at 24. So who would you say wins? I wouldn't expect Minnesota to get this close.
I'm going to say the Vikings will win. So
Dan's got the Vikings. I got the Giants. And then for Baltimore Bengals, I got the Bengals.
I got the Ravens.
We're Mike versus Dan. We're always on opposite sides. And then I think we can both agree Tampa takes Dallas. Home team.
I'm going to say Dallas.
No, you're not.
I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say Dallas will beat Tampa.
Come on. They lost the last 2 games of the regular season.
Tampa Tampa's season has not been a good season.
I know, but
They don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
But Dallas beats themselves, man. I mean, they're jokes. They're the largest choke artists in the history of choke artists.
If I know Dak Prescott like I know Dak Prescott, he'll step up and play a better game because it's the playoffs. So,
all right, you're gonna bet on Dan. You're gonna bet on me. Place your bets. Put them in the comments section. Hit the like and subscribe. Next week, we do have a Monday night game. That's the one we're talking about.
Tampa.
Next week, I think we'll have just Saturday and Sunday games. Probably no Monday night game. So look for next Sunday. We're going to do episode 2. We're still looking for a name. Anyone you want to thank or any promotions you want to do?
I have no promotions, but I'll thank all the people at the watch party, Ian, the fan of the year, and Jay, Rich. You guys are awesome. Even Omar on the gray sweater. He's cool.
Shout out to our crew.
Yep. What about you?
Like we talked about DeMar Hamlin.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
We already mentioned that.
Shout out to DeMar Hamlin.
Shout out. Much love. And
can't wait to see him come back.
Congratulations to my friend Diana, who's a Buffalo fan. Enjoy it, even though you didn't even watch the game.
Shout out to Greg Gilman, one of my childhood friends, Buffalo's fan. Congrats to you.
Congrats. So just always promote The Chosen. Look it up online. And I just want to say real quick that if you are struggling with addiction or depression, anxiety, anything like that, there are people who will listen to you. They want to help you. K-Love radio station, for example, they have pastors that you can call, a free number anytime for prayer and someone to listen. There is help out there. Look for help. Ask for help. Don't go through whatever you're going through alone. You can always post prayer requests down below in the comments. I will be checking the comments and let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, suggestions, anything, work the algorithm. And thank you guys so much for even.
And if you want to leave us, give us some name options, go ahead.
Yeah, we're still looking for a name.
Still looking for a name.
Podcast. So. Football guys, backyard football, Broward, something. Shout out to our good friend Robert Pogue.
Yes,
Robbie.
Childhood friend.
Robbie, we're gonna get you on the podcast as soon as you're ready, bud.
At some point, yep.
We got a phone. You're gonna be a call in, or I can put you on a Zoom call as soon as you're ready.
Whatever you want, buddy.
Let me know, man. We're gonna have Ian Berger, the fan of the year. He said he will come on next season.
Yep.
And our crew, we want to get Rich and Jay on here.
Oh yeah.
For kind of a round table.
Those guys are cool.
Because we had one outside the Bruce room. We should have recorded. So it's gonna get better. This is the first one. Dan, what'd you think of the first podcast?
I think it went great, and I was nervous coming in, but settled into my own.
You did an awesome job, man.
I appreciate that.
Ran off with it.
I love
All
it.
right, we're gonna close out, and I'm gonna get up in your face here. Go Dolphins! Fins up! Appreciate y'all.
Fins are number one.
Dolph Freaky!
Fins are number one.